Hello again, folks, and welcome to another episode of Godslay. I'm your host, Gamer Darius. Last we left off, first off though, I wanted to tell you guys that this is actually recorded after having done the video, because for some stupid ass reason, OBS decided to be a right pain in the ass. Yeah, don't know why. But this time around, we're going to go to the south, and there is a mountain that we need to do a lot of exploring in. A lot of annoying exploring in. It's not a very easily navigated place. I've actually had to look around this place a little bit and get all confused. I hate doing post-recording. So most of the enemies in this are actually weak against wind element instead of the fire element. I don't know why they made it so as that's a thing, but it's really annoying. Because, let's face it, you just got the fire sword, so you want to blow things away with fire and flames and pain. And of course, everything else in this place also poisons you terribly. Pretty much I've discovered that every enemy that is red causes poison, which sucks. Yeah, that's about it. I did have an antidote though, so... And if this music is familiar, that's because on the other side of this stone wall, ice wall, I guess, is Nebu. The wind is filled with sorrow. Return to Leaf soon. And you gotta think to yourself, okay, what's wrong with wind? Leaf, rather. The wind is filled with sorrow. Yeah, that's what got me confused. So, naturally, gotta return to Leaf, right? There's gotta be something going on there if they're gonna make it all cryptic and be all like, oh. Well, the place looks a little barren, doesn't it? That's because it is. No one else is here. Not even the elder. Item shop guy's gone. Freaking in weapon shop guy is gone too. Nobody's here. Nobody's home. It kind of sucks when you think about it. Because that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people that just up and disappeared that you could really have used the help for. But some evil people came and kidnapped everyone, which sucks. Well, no real use to worry about that now. We got other places to go and other things to do. In this particular case, we actually got to full-on explore the mountain. I forget the name of the mountain. I believe in the past I've been calling it Mount Sabre. Mount Sabre is actually the point to the north, where if you try to go up at this point, the game will simply stop you and say, hey, you can't go up that way, you're not strong enough. And I think that was less because of level and more because of the weapons we have, which again doesn't make much sense, but I digress. I'm pretty sure that they expect you to... They want you to find the third object for the power-up for the Sword of Wind, which, yes, every single every elemental weapon in this, which all of your elemental weapons, have 3 grades of upgrade. Which means that pretty much almost as soon... It's kind of silly. Pretty much as soon as you find the elemental sword, you find the upgrade for that sword. Or not, if not the upgrade, then also the bracelet that also goes with it. Mild spoiler. Actually, no. Tornell is his name? Torkel? Probably Tornell. He actually told you straight up he's going to give you the thing if you can manage to... Actually, no. If you can find the bracelet, tornado bracelet, here, in this mountain, then he will give you a new spell. And admittedly, it's a pretty damn useful spell. One that I use at least 3 times, I want to say, because I ran out of objects that supplement it. But in any case, those guys I've been killing, I had been slaying for a grand total of like 8 experience apiece. which is not the most, especially for the area, but it's a good amount. And again, pretty much everything else in this place is immune to fire, save for like these spider guys and those guys that are just outside. I don't know. I questioned this design, making it so as most every enemy is strong against the new hotness. New hotness, because flaming sword. And so if you, I think I had pointed out too that was one of the big changes that they made between the Nintendo NES, or Nintendo NES, the NES version of this and the Game Boy Color version of this, was that Game Boy Color version, none of the enemies were strictly immune to a weapon. It did less damage, but overall, it was just straight up less damage, not immunity. At this point, I was actually confused. I thought that the game had cycled me to the entrance of the mountain, but that's not the case. It's just they reused this little format here. I forgot I had the bunny hop equipped, which actually you do need for the mountain. I think as a kid, I never really found out. And look, there's Torkel, whatever his name is. I feel kind of stupid too. I was pretty much the entire time these last 2 episodes, I had been mistaking that Wise Sage guy for Akahana, I think his name was, the guy that I got the Onyx statue for back in Bryn Mawr, I think was the name of the place. Use all the herbs. Yeah, stabbing is not exactly the most effective way to deal with any of the enemies in this game, which is completely understandable. You got freaking orbs and whatnot to make it so as you can charge up that shit. Why would you bother? I think at one point I was considering grinding on these spider guys as well, but I had literally just come from grinding and they were only worth 8 experience points as well, so it's like, why even bother? I will admit, I did get lost in this mountain. Didn't quite know where to go, what to do, and I was surrounded by these serpents who, yes, do poison you. Like every other red monster in this. Even later on, I will have been grinding a little bit. And this is the way that actually leads to Tornell. I don't even know why I bothered charging against the red snakes there. I knew it was going to be a bad time. But poison in this is decent in that it's not completely unfair. It only does like a tick of damage every 5 or so seconds. And your character actually has something like 100 at this point, or 100 HP. So you don't even have to really worry too much about that. Juke around those guys a little bit. Just don't want to bother with the swords is all. Get the magic ring, which... yeah, okay, Tornell. You found me, but you must find the tornado bracelet before I give you magic, essentially what he says. Now, the magic ring works once, and it restores your MP to max once you have used it. So now I gotta run back around this place, try to find any and all things that could be useful, like antidotes and magic herbs and tornado bracelet, which is the 3rd power-up, or the 2nd power-up for the Sword of Wind. You know, now that I think about it, this... I don't know. It kind of... now that I think about this game in terms of tokusatsu that I've watched, Japanese special effects shows, it kind of works in a weird fashion of Kamen Rider, if anyone understands that. Like, take for example Kamen Rider Wizard, who gets a new thing, gets another thing of that same power level, but just slightly different. Like, he'll get his wind gem, and then he'll get the fire gem, and then he'll get, or ring, And then he gets the earth and water and whatnot. And then he gets the thing that makes it so as that shows off all of those things, but in a slightly more powerful fashion. And yes, that ice is really annoying. You actually have to bunny hop the shorter one, or you can just walk up. I think if you can't walk up the thing, you actually have to legit get a good running start. For some reason. Like, you walk up just a little bit of it, and then you get that. You jump in. But no, like, going back to the Kamen Rider thing, which is kind of silly to focus on, but regardless. I don't know. It's just kind of a theory I had at one point, where looking at this game is like, huh. You get the Wind Sword, and then you get all of its power-ups. You get the Fire Sword, and then you get all of its power-ups. And so on and so forth. Mind you, you don't get all of the Wind Sword's power-ups right away. You end up getting the Fire Sword and the Ball of Fire before you end up getting the Tornado Bracelet, but you need the second power-up for the Sword of Wind in order to get the Tornado Bracelet. Yeah, that poison's really annoying, now that I look back at my footage. Like, it was just always... It was just one of the things that's really annoying. But hey, found the Tornado Bracelet, which is fan-freaking-tastic. Now, what does suck about the Tornado Bracelet is that it's got a completely different effect. It actually spreads over a radius of the area. And here I use Warp Boots because I don't have teleportation yet. But yeah, the Tornado Bracelet makes it so as it's just this wall of wind that continuously pushes the enemies. And does damage, of course. Can't go wrong with damage. This was me confused as to whether or not I had the most powerful armors that I could yet have in the game. Really annoying. Really annoying. Me stocking up. But yeah, all of the bracelets, and yes, there are multiple elemental bracelets, they do consume MP. Which, to be fair, the magical effect that they do is worth that MP, but it's still a lot of MP, especially if you accidentally forget to unequip the bracelets. And then just do nothing but spam charged attacks. Now, sadly, you cannot, in fact, use Warp Boots to get back to where you once were. But I think here is where I was going to sample. Oh, no, that was me forgetting that I charged up to 3. Yeah, it's fairly powerful. Most of the time, the effect is multi-hit. But they still do have that elemental immunity, so if you do have, you know, these little blue bastards that you want to kill, you actually have to stop, change the sword. Can't rely on that third charged effect for some stupid arse reason. And that was me realizing, hey, that way led back to Leaf. Yes, this is a common occurrence when it comes to me playing this game. I just completely forget about things like being able to just slide down that little thing as opposed to going the long way around. I could actually jump back up it with the rabbit boots. I think this way was completely unnecessary. I think it would just led to... I want to say that it just led to an object. Yeah, Warp Boots. kind of funny, seeing as I already used some Warp Boots. And I did a little bit of cutting back there because, I mean, why go back over what I had already previously gone over, sort of thing. Actually, now that I think about it, I'll get into that when I finally finish off some of the quests in this. I say quests like it's some sort of long-form RPG. And while it's not necessarily short, if you don't know what you're doing, and getting poisoned all the time, then yeah, it is kind of a longer form RPG. I don't even remember how long it took me to beat this game when I was first a kid, even with a Game Genie. Yep, me constantly forgetting how to operate the menus. Always a point of fun. Killing the monsters. Making my way back up to Tornell. I want to say that the way wasn't that way. That was just... God, I am terrible at remembering. I'm looking at my footage here now and thinking to myself, man, even now I still don't really know which way it is that I have to go. Which is silly because I've done it before. Literally not all that long ago. And now I'm getting surrounded by enemies. Most of them are pretty easy to kill, mind you, but just my incompetence showing through. That and my not knowing how this game works necessarily completely. As you guys will see in the next episode, I will have next to no clue how the hell it is that I do half the things that I do in the game. It's a little bit of torture. But now that we've found the correct way back to Tornell, getting hurt by monsters. Good thing I wasn't poisoned by monsters. Darius, I'm surprised you made it back. I'll now teach you Teleport. This magic allows you to move from town to town instantaneously. Have a safe journey. Yep, Teleport works just like the wind boots do. And he just tells you have a safe journey from now on. So now you can completely and totally ignore the rest of this mountain and use Teleport to go wherever you want. It costs like 20 or so MP, so I would not personally recommend using it over Warp Boots, especially if you find yourself as unskilled as I am and constantly dying to not having refresh. At least when I was a kid. Nowadays, it's not as bad. So, now the way that we have to go is actually north. To what is called Mount Sabre. And we will find that it is not going to block us any further from when we had, you know, previously gone there, and it was all like, wait, Darius, you're not strong enough. Except this is not the way. This is the way to that little training guy who gave us the telepathy spell. And that guy just tells us something we already know. So now we just have to actually remember where it was, which is beyond that little swamp patch on the other side of this river. Also, I gotta remember to take off the teleport spell. Something I will probably constantly do throughout the rest of this Let's Play, by the way. Die, mushroom. Oh, jeez. God, how incompetent I am in this. I could, in theory, grind some more against those mushroom guys, but honestly, even at 3... Oh man, I have to math right now. I don't feel like mathing. I think it's 4 to get 36... No, that's 32. It'd be 5 to get the amount. Oh well. So we cannot save, by the way, once we enter mountains and areas, but now we got a nice inn. The trail is blocked off and some strange people wander there. It's quite weird. Indeed. The food here is great. I wish I could eat like this always. Welcome, my guest. I am Nadera. Get rested and awake refreshed. And another item shop has the Fruits of Power, which, if I remember correctly, increases your attack power. A little bit more expensive inn, but we have already spent a little bit of our health and whatnot. I may be old now, but in my youth I could climb many mountains easily. My son Nadera is still a wimp compared to me. Not long ago, a guy from near climbed the mountain. I envy the youth with so much energy. Yeah, us youths and our energy. We totally have a lot of it. Totally don't. Well, I totally don't. I don't know about the rest. I was captured by some strange people. They put me in a cave. I also saw people from Leaf. They were all being forced to work. But I escaped, and they found me. I cannot hold on. Cannot move. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, I have tasted Nadera's food again. I am... He is dead. I think I made a point to say that this guy was honestly the very first time that I may have witnessed someone having died in a Nintendo video game. And I didn't know the person, so it probably didn't strike me as hard, but still. I hear someone talking. Yeah, those guys look tough, don't they? Are those worthless villagers working well? Well, they're used to working in the cold weather, and I haven't heard complaints. But of course, it's difficult to complain when you're not allowed. We must make them work harder. Long live the Draconia Empire. Plot stuff. Hi guys, we're here to ruin your day. Who are you? You cannot pass here. Attack! And then they decide to be jerks. Jerks immune to fire. Again. Jackass is immune to fire. Who at SNK decided that this was a good idea, by the way? Making it so as they were immune to fire. That shit drives me nuts. But they drop 8 gold a piece, so it's all good there. Long corridors. Long, uneventful corridors. I'll equip the wind bracelet. Tornado bracelet, rather. So that I don't consume MP if I'm just idling. Which is honestly probably one of my smarter moves. Here's a funky thing though. If you just equipped the sword and still have an orb from another elemental sword equipped, your charge will downgrade to 1. A little bit funky to me. I kind of understand why, but at the same time, I don't. So here's the thing. That top row of items is the only row of items that you can actually fill with items, of course. And it's a good thing we found some more stuff to offload that stuff. I don't know. So here's hoping. I remember exactly what goes on through the rest of this place because it was kind of a trial to get through. There are more of those Dragonian guys. And once again, you gotta swap back and forth between the 2 elemental swords because, oh hey, these guys are immune to wind, but the Dragonians are not. They're immune to fire. Oh yeah, these jackasses. They hit fairly hard, but as long as you can keep them off screen, they will not do damage to you, so just pop onto screen with them, hit them, hope that you knock them off screen, charge up, repeat. Don't know what the hell was up with that bat. Now that said, these golem guys kind of give me a little bit of a hard time. Makes sense, they're golems. Don't know why I decided to turn tail here. It was not for the grinding, I assure you, it was not for the grinding. Although they were worth quite a bit of experience, I think. 1215, 1250, yeah, like 35 experience points. 35? Yeah, 35. But still, they hit really hard. And you can tell when they're going to attack, which gives you a little bit of time to try to move out of the way as fast as you possibly can. But sometimes even that's not enough. Sometimes. More of these elemental golem guys. I had just refreshed too. Spent a good portion of my health recovery, or magic on health recovery. I don't explore every nook and cranny of this place, sadly enough. But I do pretty much go straight to the head of the beast. Yeah, those guys... I don't know. For the amount of effort it takes to kill them, I'm not sure it was worth the effort to try to kill any of them. Maybe except for this guy. Okay, that guy was worth 25, I think. It's more effort. It's less effort to kill the golems simply because the fire sword does multiple hits, whereas in this you have to rely on hitting them one strike at a time. Pain in the ass. Still, get a pretty good chunk of experience from them. And the fact that you can still do penetration attacks with the wind sword is... it's alright. Da, da, da. Yeah. I think this is the last little push in this area. I don't recall. It's been a little bit. Like, I honestly sat down, recorded like 3 episodes worth, realized, oh hey, audio's not coming in right, and just kind of baby raged for a bit, and then came back. Yeah, this is the place I needed to go. So these 2 walls proved to be a little bit of a pain in the butt, because these Dragonian soldiers actually respawn every single time you come off the screen, much like most enemies. But you have to kill them with wind and break down the walls via fire. And you want to go to the left one first because the right one continues on plot. That's not what I did though. The people of Dragonia are making us special metal from the minerals we dig here. The elder is held prisoner at the top of the mountain. They will kill him if we don't work. There are village people in the next prison as well. I heard that part of the prison wall was connected to the top. Thank you for saving me. Kids. What do you say, kids? Yeah, that way progresses the story some. And we don't want to do that just yet. We actually want to go this way so that we can actually progress the story. Thank you for saving me. So you saved us, big deal. So you saved us, big deal. Jerks. Should have just let those guys rot in this icy prison. But we got the key to prison. Now you might be thinking, hey, we just broke down a couple of ice walls. Why do we need this thing? To that I say, to progress this way. Because this way... why am I going back? Why am I going back? This way was the prison. There's nothing else over to the left. Stop going that way, me. Yeah, just take that damage. Expend your resources. That's exactly what the game wants you to do. There we go. And now we can't refresh anymore. We pretty much actually, I think from this point... I decided to use that ring, the magic ring, in order to regenerate my MP. I'll do that at some point. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes when you're looking at the footage and being all like, where was it I did this? It might have been after I ran into the 5th guy face to face right in the row. Or it might have been after these guys. I don't know. You know that you're probably going to be facing off against something strong when you find a set of stairs. Right. I use the herb. Then I use the magic ring. Which kind of sucks I use the magic ring, because the magic ring is actually really damn helpful. And no, you cannot save. You can only save in towns and on the world map. And I also wanted to up my magic because I wanted to use refresh during the fight and rely on my warp boots if things go wrong. Against. I am the great General Kelbask. I'm one of the Dragonia's finest four. Wimp, you will now see the wrath of my power. He is immune to fire. Again, another enemy that is immune to the new fiery sword of Flamey Doom. Ah well. You just got the Tornado Bracer, so I'm pretty sure the game designers were like, hey, you want to use the Tornado Bracer, right? But honestly, it would have probably hit more often, but I wanted to ensure that I had some recovery methods. Speaking of, as far as I know too, this guy's attacks are completely random. Like, you don't know where those little things are going to pop up of. I would hate to see someone try to no-hit run Crystalis. Don't think for even a second. Yeah, you've seen even a fraction of my power. Next time you see me, it will be the last. And he left a treasure chest. How nice of him. And now you get the Flame Bracelet, which is honestly stupid powerful. I don't remember if I show it off here, but hey, we use the key, open the door. Oh, Darius, are the rest of the villagers okay? I really appreciate your efforts. Darius, proceed back into the cave. It leads to Portoa. I heard the queen there has strange powers. Surely she will aid you. Oh, so her name's Shirley, huh? Bust open that, and head on into the next section of the game. Now I had definitely considered the idea of just re-recording. Oh, Darius, good job. I'll now teach you the magic of paralysis. It will paralyze most monsters and cause people to fall asleep. It will be useful in the next town. And it does just that. It costs like 4 MP, so watch its consumption. Now, I had considered recording this from the complete start of re-recording from the complete start of the game, thanks to how the save slot is, but that would have just been arduous at best. But I'm going to go ahead and call an episode here. When we return, it will be another voice-over episode, much like this one, because again, the audio borked. But regardless, thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I am enjoying this game. As always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Cheers.